What's up, players? My name is Matthew, and in this video, we're going to be teaching you how to perform the scoop and shoot drill. And at the end of the video, we'll give you some tips on how to improve your score at the next skills combine. So here's how the drill works. You're going to start on either side of the crates in a kneeling position. The moderator is going to ask a question. Shooter ready. As soon as you're ready, you're going to respond with ready. It'll look something like this. I'm going to beat both. Shooter ready. Ready. You start kneeling. You'll shoot and hit the target. Then you need to move from one side of the crates to the other. Once you get to the other side, you're going to be in a kneeling position again and shoot the target. You're going to go back and forth until you hit the target a total of 10 times. Each shot that you take has to be a hit. Let's come up here to the target so we can see. Obviously, we're always looking for alphas here, but any shot on the target will count. If you have any misses off of the target, you're going to be disqualified from the drill. So you do need to have a little bit of precision while you're doing this. All right, now let's take a look at me doing the drill full speed so you can see it in action.
Shooter ready.
Ready. So once you've fired all 10 shots and hit the target, it's going to show you what your end time was. So for this instance, it was 25.75 seconds for me to finish the entire drill. What's also cool is you can see the time between each shot. It took me just under 3 seconds on average to make it across and fire another shot each time. So 2.78, 2.87. There's an almost 3 second slow one. Wonder what happened there. But you can see that when the drill started, it took me just under half a second to react to the drill starting, firing a dart, and for that dart to make contact with the target. On this side, you can see the results of each of these being a hit. So if we can go back, we can see that the majority of my grouping is up here. We got one straggler headshot. But all were hits. So if any of these were to land outside of the target, on that next screen, it would show them as a miss. If you have a miss, then the drill won't count for you. You'll have to try it again. So really make sure that you're on the target. This whole drill is kind of built to work on your agility and your ability to change angles while defending an objective. And if somebody was back here trying to make a claim on the button or something, that's exactly what this would be built to do, is for you to be able to quickly change angles instead of constantly popping out the same side. This is a fun way to work on your slides too. So let's talk a little bit about how to slide, both safely and effective for playing. The first thing you should do is you should definitely practice without all of your gear on. So I picked this up just to show. Take it off and get used to sliding on my own, okay? So once you've taken all your gear off, the only thing you need to have on are your knee pads and a nice pair of shoes that aren't gonna break apart as your toes are kind of dragging on the floor. The first thing you should work on is probably a power slide where you're able to move forward a couple steps, drop to both knees, and then use your toes dragging behind you to control your speed. So if you want to keep gliding farther, you keep your toes up. If you want to start slowing down, then the tops of your toes will go down. Just like that. Keep in mind when you're sliding, especially inside an arena, there's going to be ammo and other hazards all around. So obviously if you're sliding over ammo or you're sliding over one of the cord covers on the ground, that's probably going to bring you to an abrupt halt. So be aware of what surface you're sliding on top of. Once you've kind of slid around on a power slide a few times, you can work on that, but it's going to be its own separate video. The main one for this drill is scooting. And I think the best way to practice scooting is to start with your feet wider than shoulder width apart, but where they're still comfortable. Drop down to where your elbows can kind of rest on your thighs, all right? So a scoot is more like a one knee slide rather than both. And it's usually going to be lateral rather than like straight in front of you. So I'll go to my right first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift my weight to the right and I'm gonna keep my hips low. If my hips are high, when I go to slide, my hip is gonna go past my knee and I'm gonna fall. But if I drop my hips low, when my knee starts coming down, my knee can stay in front of me rather than my hip getting in front of my knee. So that's super important. So to practice it, start low just like this. Step, drop to your knee, and shoot your weight towards that. You're now using your back foot and the toe of the knee that's sliding to control your speed. So you can increase the drag to slow down, or you can get rid of the drag to keep that speed as long as you can. Hop back up. You'll do the same thing to the opposite side. You'll step with that leg, drop to that knee, push off of your back foot, and slide. You can see I've got this foot controlling speed and this foot controlling speed. Now letting my hip get past my knee, or I'm going to look like this. Okay? That's why we're practicing this without our gear as well. So that way, if we start to stumble, we can use our hands to help protect ourselves from falling or bonking our head. Obviously, make sure you've got enough room on each side laterally so you don't collide into a wall or something silly. The next layer would be adding your battle belt, whatever sort of pouches, maybe if you're carrying a sidearm on a holster, but still keeping your hands free in order to catch yourself. Works exactly the same. Start low, slide to one side. When you end your slide, make sure you're ending in a balanced position and not a position that you feel kind of sloppy or that you have to recorrect in order to get back on target. So same exact thing, just start adding some of your gear, but keep your hands free. And last but not least, after you've spent a whole bunch of time practicing with the rest of your gear, it's important to start slow. Start using whatever your primary blaster is going to be. And what I would suggest is holding it just one-handed with the side you're sliding to being your post hand. So in case I start sliding and I need to catch myself, I can post with a bent arm on that side, okay? Obviously, if I was holding here, I'd be trying to use my blaster and it wouldn't be a good way to post. So if I'm gonna go to my left, now my left hand is open. I'm gonna scoot to the left. If I fall, I've got my hand to support me, okay? Obviously, you will be working toward not needing your hand to support you, so you can start practicing that. Keeping that hand up. If you need it, you can post. Last but not least, do it while trying to hold on to your blaster. Do remember, you can let go of your blaster at any point during this drill. So if you start to slide, just let go and place. But anytime you don't have to, and you can be as close to the ready to fire position the whole time, the better. So if you can slide while keeping a hold of your blaster and keeping that blaster at a level that is ready to shoot. You don't have the muzzle pointed down, you don't have the muzzle pointed up, you don't have it pointed behind you, you have it pointed at whatever your target's going to be. And in this instance, for this drill, we know the target is always going to be in front of us. So each time you swap sides, have that blaster ready at an angle that it's ready to shoot with. And that's it, guys. The scoot and shoot is a fun drill. It's also one that if you practice it, you'll probably use some of those techniques in an actual battle. The actual skills combine, you're going to receive a score. S is going to be the best score you can possibly get. A, B, and followed by C would be the next ratings you can get. The specific times change year to year as players are getting better and setting new records. So at the actual skills combine, you'll be able to find out what those times are. Best of luck. If you need any further help on sliding, check out one of our other videos on sliding techniques specifically, whether it's the power slide, scooting, lateral sliding, or 180 sliding. Have a great rest of your day.